The contract for the £117 million incinerator in mid-Cornwall was signed 7 years ago. But persistent opposition has delayed the project. And this week, campaigners announced plans for a further legal challenge.
There is an special area of conservation which is part of the Gosmore. And on that Gosmore there are protected species. And of course, at the moment, Natural England are in the process of enlarging the SAC, and that will involve a process which is called an appropriate assessment, which is an assessment basically of the air quality. Now, we already know that the air quality is overloaded or over the regulation limit, and we got high hopes of that being something that goes some way to torpedo the incinerator project.
Opponents have used the EU Habitats Directive to their advantage in the past. In 2011, the High Court blocked the building of the incinerator, saying the government had failed to properly consider the effect it would have on 2 nearby wildlife habitats. The decision was later overturned in the Court of Appeal. But all this legal toing and froing costs money. Last year, Cornwall Council spent £10 million on landfill tax. The incinerator here at St Dennis will help reduce the council's reliance on this form of waste disposal. But lengthy delays mean the council continues to spend millions burying rubbish at a time when its budgets are stretched. Cornwall Council says cancelling its incineration plans now would mean an extra 9 years of burying waste, which it says could end up costing taxpayers an extra £90 million in extra landfill tax alone.
If they really abandoned the contract, they would have to then go through a similar process of review and consultation, which is, according to them, going to take 6 years or so. And that the delay of that would mean that they'd continue to use old practices in dealing with the waste. And the costs would escalate, I think.
Despite the potential costs involved, the Green Party leader backed the moves to derail the project while on a special visit to St Dennis this week.
The campaigners have actually had a very high level of consultants they've gone to who've shown that even if you looked at all the penalty clauses and paid the penalties, you would still in the long run be saving £20 million a year for the people of Cornwall if you got out of this contract now. And £20 million a year is not to be sneezed at, and that's being calculated, that's the reality of it.
The waste company with the contract to build the incinerator, CETA, says it is the best financial and environmental solution for managing the county's waste. Local protesters don't accept that, and they argue it will devalue their houses and impact on their health and air quality. So will either side ever get what they want?
It seems to me that the real hope is that everybody sits around a table and starts to discuss the options. Surely CETA would be willing to do that. And if we look to a 30-year timescale, could we not have a real vision that involved something people believed in, that was worthwhile? And that must mean optimising recycling, taking out food waste if possible, and then perhaps having an incinerator, but a smaller one.
Natural England has confirmed it is consulting on expanding the conservation area near to the site of the incinerator. Cornwall Council says it recognises its duty to review the planning and environmental permits in connection with that. But so far, the council says it's had no indication that construction will need to stop.